for organizing the mass deportation of Ukrainian children, a form of genocide under the Geneva Conventions, the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin in March of this year. Thus, the Russian dictator became the fourth president of the state persecuted by the ICC in history. Now, all 123 countries that recognize the jurisdiction of this court will be obliged to arrest Putin if he appears on their territory. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Dmytro Kuleba, reminded about this during the ministerial roundtable at the UN headquarters.
Justice will allow to prevent future crimes. Instead, impunity, as we all know, encourages crime. We have no moral right to allow it after thousands of innocent Ukrainians suffered from Russian aggression. All the guilty must be brought to justice, without exception. Dmytro Kuleba, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, during a speech at the ministerial roundtable at the UN headquarters.
However, Ukraine has a bigger goal than the arrest of Putin alone. The Ukrainian authorities want to bring to justice all those responsible for the aggression against Ukraine. To this end, work to create a special tribunal is underway. An act of aggression is already a crime in itself, according to the UN Charter. However, the last time the leaders of the Axis, Germany, Italy, Japan, were tried for aggression following the results of World War II. In all subsequent wars, for one reason or another, the crime of aggression as such was ignored. Ukraine intends to change the status quo.
Є складне завдання і дипломатичне, юридичне, політичне.
This is a difficult task to create a new judicial body, diplomatically, legally and politically. A body which will deal with the issue of responsibility for a crime for which the international community has not tried anyone for 80 years. Therefore, over the past year and a half, we have come in an important way. A very important intermediate result on the way to the creation of a special tribunal is the launch of an international center for criminal prosecution for the crime of aggression against Ukraine. This happened in The Hague on July 3rd.
The problem is that some partners, especially the United States, oppose such a format of the tribunal, which is approved by the UN. After all, then similar processes can be carried out on them for their past wars. Ukraine, on the other hand, categorically does not accept a hybrid tribunal, that is, a process included in the legal system of one country. The President's office says that Ukraine seeks to bring not a limited list of names to justice, but in general all those who are to blame for the aggression. Therefore, now the most promising option is an internationalized tribunal, when a separate international body is created on the basis of the national judicial system, with the involvement of international elements, judges, prosecutors, separate rules and principles.
На старті були три моделі.
There were three models at the start. Model 1 is very long, and we've talked about it a lot. This is actually an analogy for the creation of the Nuremberg trials. But if we proceed from the declaration on the signing of an international treaty on the establishment of a tribunal, this may take many years. The invention of this compromise option, I see the partners' interest in it. That is, they are already at least asking how exactly this mechanism will work. I mean, I don't see much of a problem with that.
Ukrainian diplomacy has managed to achieve significant progress in organizing an international tribunal for a year and a half of work. Resolutions with its support were signed in the EU, NATO, PACE and 9 separate states, and a special international group, which includes 38 countries, has already held 4 meetings. At them, representatives of states develop algorithms for the work of the tribunal so that the body does not contradict the policies of countries. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Danilo Kobza, UATV News.